Imagine a world where the Premier League lost its financial power through an enforced annual salary cap. No more 300k a week superstars, clubs instead have to play financial Jenga with just 250k a week to share between the entire squad. Well, imagine no more as we put this all to the test over 10 years in Football Manager. Let's get it started. So just to show you guys exactly what I mean when I say the clubs are going to have to be playing financial Jenga. I'm at Tottenham. You can see it's locked in. Maximum squad salary of 250k per week. The reason I've done 250k is because the squad size has to be 25 players strong. That averages out at 10k a week.
Man knows trigonometry, algebra, and everything to end with tree.
Now you can see Tottenham are over 250k a week by quite a lot. Now what they're going to have to do, the Jenga that they're going to have to do, is basically choose between Sarr and Basuma. They could get rid of Dragusin and lock these guys in and then just fill the rest of the squad up with very cheap kids, basically. I mean, 90 quid a week for some of these.
Here comes the money!
I want to look at three things. First of all, the most obvious one, who's won the Premier League the most amount of times with a wage cap rule in place. Number two, I want to see who the highest earner is in the league. And then the third thing I want to look at is whether the Premier League is actually still the number one league in the world. So with all of that being said, let's finally get the season started. We've got Brighton. The Seagulls are flying high at the top of the league, joint top with Tottenham Hotspur. Chelsea are in third, Newcastle fourth. The Tractor Boys are pushing for European football. But Man United fans, you will want to look away now because you are rock bottom, boys. They are suffering. They are winless after 4 games. Man City not doing too much better either, only a point ahead of them. You can see by the player stats, it's not the usual suspects that are doing quite well. We've got Simon Adingra up top for Brighton. Got Nicholas Jackson, currently the best player in the Premier League. Now we're going to look at some of the squads. Going to start from the bottom and work my way up. And it is Amorim Ball with a team that I barely recognise. So we've got Garnacho in there, Yoro, Johnny Evans, and it looks like they've signed Longstaff from Newcastle on loan, 27k a week. Bruno Fernandes is unregistered and wanted and listed for 24.5 million. City also winless, which I'm actually surprised about because I do recognise some of these players. Rico Lewis, obviously homegrown, absolute beast at right back. McAtee at centre mid, Oscar Bob, Savinho. They've got Samuel Lino from Atletico Madrid on loan for 15k a week. Chelsea are up next, and it's going to be the only time they are thanking the heavens about the spending spree that Bowley went on when he bought the club. They've got Mark Gui, I want to say, who's now starting up top in the Premier League for Chelsea on 950 quid a week. Cole Palmer is unregistered. Dewsbury Hall, Jadon Sancho, Cucurella, Mudryk, João Felix. A lot of money being wasted at Chelsea, I must say. So with these starter squads out the way with, we're going to get to the end of season 1 and I cannot wait to see what happens in that January window. The first season was filled with results and performances unlike anything the Premier League had ever seen. By the time January 1st hit, Brighton had been pipped to the top by a surging Aston Villa.
Good evening.
Whilst the Big Six saw managerial sackings on a monthly basis. The transfer window saw the big names we all know and love leave in transfers ranging from the big bucks all the way to absolute bargains. But how did it leave the table looking come season's end? And in the most fitting of fashions, the most moneyball of moneyball teams, Brighton, the Seagulls, have won the Premier League by a point. They've pipped Villa in the end, who came second. Southampton clinching Champions League football on their return to the Premier League. Minter, Adingra and Cisco. James Milner is their highest paid player, who's registered on 80k a week. James Milner winning a Premier League at 38 years old. Things you just love to see. And Manchester fans, I'm sorry to say, you've both been relegated. United only got 25 points. City only got 27.
I am flabbergasted.
I didn't expect that. After season 1, Forest, you can kind of see, they've spent a lot, high wages recently. But United and City, You would think that their kids would be able to get them out of this jam. Arsenal came 14th. Ipswich came 7th, and it looks like that they have won a domestic trophy. But Man City and Man United. So Man United, they've currently got Maurizio Sarri in charge. And Sarri Ball, with that team, has got you into the Championship.
But I'd like to go in hard on the United players, but today I'm actually feeling sorry for them.
And City have been relegated with Antonio Conte, Savinho, Doku, Bob. Like, how have they been relegated with that front three, man?
Because this is the first time in my career to see a situation like this.
And Ipswich must have won the Carabao Cup, which is just amazing. Yeah, they beat Brighton 5-2 in the final. Calvin Phillips getting them off to a great start 11 minutes in. Jack Clark, ex-Spurs man, getting 2. One last thing, player stats. Mohamed Kudus, West Ham's star player. I guess you could look at the more higher paying players as like designated players like they have in MLS. And Mohamed Kudus has got 25 goals. Berrington Diaz ended up actually being the best player in the league. So that is season 1 done. I'm going to jump forward to season 5, show you some bits and bobs on our way there, and then get to season 5 and see how the squads are looking like. Let's do it. Whilst nothing will be quite as shocking as seeing both Manchester clubs getting relegated, the next 4 years still had some twists and turns of their own. We saw the Golden Boot change hands like a hot potato, newly promoted teams plant their Premier League flag, and the remaining high salary superstars depart for foreign shores. So how would the Prem look come the end of 5 years under salary cap rules? So we're at the end of the 5 years, and Southampton fans, you Saints have gone marching on because you are Premier League champions at the end of season number 5. Liverpool, Everton and Newcastle make up the rest of the top 4. And we can see that Man City and Man United have come back into the Premier League and established themselves as mid to bottom half teams. Things you just love to see. What I would have loved to have seen even more was Arsenal getting relegated. They came close, relatively close, minus 10 goal difference as well.
It's embarrassing.
If we look at the player stats, Liverpool's Ben Doak is the Premier League's top scorer, and he's on 2.5k a week with the Saudis starting to sniff around. It'll be interesting to see if he does stay at Liverpool, what his wage is at the end of the 10 years. So I'm going to have a quick look to see how each team's league position kind of morphed over the first 5 years. We're back to season 1 here, so we got United and City being relegated. In season 2, Brighton went from champions to coming second place as Aston Villa won the Premier League in season 2, and it looks like Villa absolutely dog-walked the league. Ipswich, though, coming 3rd, Champions League football, things you love to see. Now, season 3 will be where we see whether United and City came straight back up. So how did they do?
You ruined it.
They did come back up, and City went straight up into 3rd place. I mean, United have come back up as a bloody bottom half team, and oh my giddy god, I've just seen Tottenham got relegated in the 3rd season.
It's the history of the Tottenham.
But Ipswich again won something, getting into the Conference League. Brentford as well, getting Europa League. West Ham's, or what a strange league that is. So that is in season 3. In season 4, Chelsea won it.
Well, God almighty, would you look at that?
Oh, that is harsh on the Tractor Boys. Finishing level on points, but the goal difference just went Chelsea's way. And Man United, by the way, just about surviving another relegation. So the only thing left to do before we jump ahead to season 10 is to look at how some of these teams' squads have morphed themselves over 5 years under wage cap rules. The reason I look at it 5 years in, not 10 years in, is because by the end of 10 years, it's all regens, all AI-generated players. Starting with the champions, Southampton, feels weird to say that. They've still got Cameron Archer up top. I just did some digging, and their highest paid player is Flynn Downs. But he's on 35k. So Premier League champions' highest paid player is on 35k a week. Liverpool's team, finished 2nd in the league, is looking drastically different. The only 2 players there that I know for a fact started at Liverpool are Ben Doak and Quansah. But the rest of the guys, I mean, they've got McKennie coming in from Juve, even though he's just asked to leave. He's only on 13k a week. I wonder if they got him on a free. They did get him on a free. But their highest paid player is their defensive midfielder, Kyler Morton on 35.5k a week. I don't know if he came through their academy. He did come through their academy, so very homegrown. Newcastle's team is quite interesting. They've signed Dragusin off Spurs. He's on 29k a week. He's actually on loan at the moment. They've still got Hall at left back. What a season he's having in real life. We looked at Finneran, currently the best player in the league at the moment. Lewis Miley. Here's our first look at a proper regen. Shannon Swanson has come in. He's on 11k a week. Still got Osler up top, who was up top in season 1. Scored 16 goals for them. He's only on 2k a week, and he wants a new deal to reflect his ability, although his ability looks kind of suspect there. Arsenal have got Jack Wilshere in charge. As much as I don't like the club, love to see that. Ethan Nwaneri is now their key player as well. Tactics-wise, team-wise, I mean, the team doesn't look too bad. I recognise quite a few players there. They've got Leif Davis coming from Burnley, Sinise, Adrabayo, Tommy Setford, Wonder Kid here in Macy, Zielinski they've brought in, who's on 23.5k. I don't know who this is. Dyke, an American, 9.25k on loan from West Brom to Arsenal, starting as their striker. Now the big ones, Manchester United and Man City. Obviously, they've been relegated and they've come back into the Premier League. And this is their team. Starting with United, they still have Xerxes, who's their star man up top. 18.75k a week. He has asked to leave, though. They got Mason Mount, who must be their highest earner. 150k a week still. How did he not leave when they were in the Championship? Kobe Mainoo's still there. You United fans will love to see that. Lenny Yoro as well. And if I look at the bench, we can see Kai Rooney is starting to come through, and he's already on 9.5k a week. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually sticks around or gets signed by somebody, because he is actually with the England squad. 2 caps already. I wonder what City are like, who have got Gennaro Gattuso in charge.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
But their team is looking half regens and like half decent, to be fair. I mean, I recognise that entire midfield. Adams, McAtee, Phillips. When did they sign Adams? He's actually on loan from Bournemouth, joining permanently this season, 27.5k. McAtee's there. How much is Phillips on? 165k a week, but he will be leaving to the Saudis, it looks like. So they are some of the squads. Apologies if I haven't covered your team. I can't go through every single one because it will be a 2-hour video. But now that the squads are out of the way, it's time to jump another 5 years to season 10 and see whether the Premier League is still the #1 league in the world, because it is 5 years in, and who has won the league the most. And it pains me to say, but Arsenal have won the final Premier League under wage cap rules. The game just knows how to hurt my soul, I'm telling you. But it's nice to see that Villa, Southampton, Chelsea and Brighton have filled out the top 5, because they seem to be the most consistent teams over this decade. But we can see here the competition and reputation. The Prem has fallen to 4th.
Not very good, is it?
So we checked in at this point here, and only one season later it fell to 3rd. And then in season 9 it would have been. It's fallen to 4th, and we've kept 4th spot in this 10th year. So wage cap rules, the Premier League will no longer be the most extravagant, dominant league in world football. But who won the league the most over the 10 years? I'm on the past winners page here. We started in the 23-24 season where Brighton won it. Then Aston Villa. Southampton got their first one. Chelsea then did it. Southampton got their second. Chelsea then went back to back. So Chelsea are winning here with 3. Southampton have 2. And then it looks like Arsenal have got 2 either side of another Southampton win. So Chelsea and Southampton are your joint winners with 3 apiece.
You're living in cloud cuckoo land.
Delighted to see that Southampton have won it the most. If we look at their squad at the end, but it looks like they've signed Finneran off Newcastle, who was the best player at the end of season 5, and he's only on 8k a week at 25 years old. Now, just before I check to see who the highest earning player in the league is, I just wanted to have a quick look at Europe to see whether any team actually did well. We're on the Champions League past winners page here, and there's not an English team in the final whatsoever. We started off in the 23-24 season. From there onwards, no English team at all. So Champions League, English teams, no chance. And the Europa League is the exact same thing. I don't see any English teams here. Oh no, Nottingham Forest in the 29-30 season got to the final of the Europa League and lost to Fenerbahce. Much better in the Conference League. So the third tier of European football seems to be where the Premier League has made its home in Europe. We've got Chelsea as winners in the 31-32 season. Liverpool won it in the 27-28. West Ham won it for the second time in the 25-26. So yeah, on the whole, Europe is a no-go. And your winner of highest paid player under wage cap rules in the Premier League at the end of 10 years is Benjamin Doak. Quite fitting, isn't it? Because we saw that he was only on 2.5k 5 years back. He's now earning 73 grand per week, which is still mind-boggling money. But compared to what the players are earning now in real life, 73k is the highest wage in England in the Premier League. Madness. And it looks like they're about to lose him for a free. And what's interesting is they've obviously registered him for the Premier League because he's made 24 appearances. And Liverpool have come 16th. So registering him has meant that they have had to register a whole bunch of players earning peanuts for a football player. So I've sorted it by wage on the right-hand side. And they've got near on 20 players here who are under 10k a week. Some of them starting as well, playing a lot of games. So having somebody expensive or relatively expensive for 10 years into a Premier League like this is going to cost you.
Boom.
So that's it, people. 10 years, salary cap, wage cap, annual wage cap, whatever you want to call it, in the Premier League. Southampton are your biggest winners. Well, joint with Chelsea, but let's forget Chelsea. Yeah, Southampton are your biggest winners. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, like, comment, do all of that stuff if you did, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace.